Love doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes, it slips in quietly, wearing a navy blue blazer and heartbreak in her eyes. My name's Ryan Mercer. I'm 26, born in Chicago, living in Toronto now. Big city lights, louder ambitions, and a corner office I didn't think I'd earn this young. I work in digital branding at a Fortune 500 firm. Deadlines, boardrooms, smiles that don't reach the eyes. That's my daily rhythm. But what I'm about to tell you, this broke every rhythm I knew. This is the story I've never told anyone. I call it, I asked if she needed anything. She said, I just want someone to look after me. It started on a Monday. Of course, it did. The kind of Monday where everything feels too loud. The coffee machine gurgling like it's dying. Some intern's ringtone playing a Taylor Swift song no one asked for. And me, hungover from a weekend that was supposed to feel like freedom. I stepped into the elevator like always, floor 27. No eye contact, headphones in. Then she walked in. Navy blazer, wet hair tied in a rushed bun, and something in her eyes I couldn't name. It wasn't sadness. It was heavier, like her soul had calluses. She pressed floor 27, same as mine, but the elevator jerked hard and stopped dead between floors. We were trapped. She pulled her phone out. No signal. I hate this building, she muttered. Yeah, same. They promise smart elevators but can't fix the damn wiring. She chuckled. Soft, dry. And that's when I noticed it. Her hand was trembling. Just barely. But it was. You okay? I asked. She hesitated. Just hate small spaces. That was the first lie between us. Her name was Harper. Harper Lane. She was new. Transferred from the London office. HR liaison. That meant she'd know everything about everyone, and no one knew anything about her. She asked me what I did, and I said, make brands look prettier than they are. She smirked. You mean lie professionally? I laughed. Exactly. The elevator finally lurched back to life. As the doors opened, I turned to her and asked without thinking, need anything? She looked at me, straight through me, and she whispered, I just want someone to look after me. I didn't know then how deep that sentence would go. That week, I started noticing her more. In meetings, in the glass reflections. She never sat still. She never smiled fully. But when she did, it felt like something sacred had just cracked open. One afternoon, she emailed me. Subject line, lunch. We met at a small Vietnamese place across the street. She ordered pho. I got banh mi. We talked about music. She liked old vinyls. I liked Spotify. She hated predictable endings. I lived for them. And then, she asked, do you believe people can start over? Sometimes, I said, but I think we carry our ghosts into every new beginning. She looked down, stirred her soup. My father once told me I was born with a broken heart. Guess he was right. I wanted to ask more, but she changed the subject before I could. That night, I dreamt of her. Days passed. We got closer. One late evening, we both stayed back to finish a pitch. The office was empty. Dim lights. The buzz of a printer in the background. She sat on the floor, heels off, hair falling over her shoulder. I used to think love was about big gestures, she said suddenly. But now, I think it's about showing up when it's ugly. I asked gently, who didn't show up for you? She smiled, sad and quiet. Everyone. That night, I walked her to her apartment. Before she went in, she turned and asked, if I broke a little in front of you, would you look away? I said, no, I meant it. But here's where the cracks began. One morning, HR flagged me for a conflict of interest. A whisper in the hallway. A colleague reported seeing us too often together. I confronted Harper about it. She froze. I didn't say anything, she whispered. I believed her. Until that evening when my supervisor called me in. He said Harper told them I was emotionally compromising her ability to stay objective. That I was too involved. Couldn't breathe. Called her. No answer. I messaged her. Seen. No reply. I went to her floor the next day. She was gone. Desk cleared. Transfer filed. No goodbye, just silence. Then came the letter, slipped under my apartment door. No name, just my name on the front. Inside, I'm sorry, I didn't want to disappear, but they were watching me, my family, the company, the past I thought I left in London. I lied to protect you. If they knew how close you got, they'd break you too. Attached, a photo, her and a child, a girl, maybe 6 years old, smiling, innocent, written on the back. My sister, they think I killed her. I didn't. And that's where I'll pause. You still with me? Because what came next took me to London, to courtrooms, to journals hidden behind false walls, to a truth so heavy, it nearly drowned me. Do you want me to continue? Let me know, and I'll tell you everything. Sometimes the heart doesn't break in a single moment. It shatters slowly, piece by piece. Every time you realize someone you trusted wasn't who you thought they were. 3 days after I got Harper's letter, I was on a flight to London. I told my boss I needed time off for a family emergency. That was a lie, but at this point I was swimming in hers. The photo of Harper and that little girl haunted me. The message on the back, they think I killed her. I didn't. What was I supposed to do with that? Couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. All I could do was chase the truth, even if it meant ripping apart the version of her I'd fallen for. London greeted me with cold rain and colder silence. I had no address, no contact, just a name, Harper Lane, and the firm she used to work at before transferring to Toronto. So I went there, walked into the tall glass building pretending to be someone I wasn't. I'm here for a project update with Ms. Lane, I told the receptionist. She frowned. Ms. Lane's no longer with us. Transferred. Her voice lowered. No. Terminated. 18 months ago. That didn't make sense. If she was fired, who the hell hired her in Toronto? I thanked her and left. But I wasn't done. I searched old press clippings, employee directories, LinkedIn posts. I found it. A story buried in local crime blogs. CEO's daughter found dead in backyard pool. Sister taken into custody. Released after questioning. The photo was grainy, but unmistakable. Harper at 17, crying, holding her head in her hands. The little girl in the image from the letter, her name was Eliza Lane, Harper's younger sister. The story said she drowned in their estate pool during a family party. Harper was the last person who saw her. No charges were filed, but the comments told a different story. She hated that kid. Everyone knew it. Rich girl jealousy. She snapped. Father covered it up. Money talks. I felt sick. That night, I checked into a budget hotel in Camden and stared at the ceiling until dawn. My mind was screaming. Had I fallen for a murderer? Or for someone the world had already sentenced without proof? I needed answers. So I tracked down the one person who'd know, her father. Daniel Lane, CEO of Lane Pharmaceuticals. Public philanthropist. Private tyrant if the forums were to be believed. I attended a charity event he was speaking at, posing as press. Wore a lanyard that said, Toronto Media. He shook hands like a politician and smiled like a man who'd never truly grieved. When I finally got him alone for a brief interview, I said it straight. I knew your daughter, Harper. His smile faltered. She's, well, wherever she is, I hope she stays quiet. What really happened to Eliza? I asked. He stepped closer, lowered his voice. I don't know who you are, but whatever she told you, forget it. She's unstable. Always was. I did what I had to protect the family. Then he walked away, and just like that, I knew he was hiding something. Back at my hotel, an envelope waited at the front desk. No sender, no message. Inside, another photo. Harper again, older this time, mid-20s, sitting in a hospital gown, wristband visible, and a note. You're being followed. Stop asking questions. I checked out within the hour, but I didn't stop. Couldn't. I visited the psychiatric facility listed on the wristband in the photo, St. Jude's Wellness Center, outside London. After bribing a staff member, I learned she'd been admitted 5 years ago. Diagnosis: acute PTSD, severe anxiety. She tried to tell the staff that her father was gaslighting her, that he blamed her for something she didn't do. They sedated her, signed paperwork, released her after 6 months. Her father picked her up. He controlled everything. She hadn't been crazy. She'd been trapped, and she'd run to Toronto, to a new job, forged under a false identity. And to me, that night I found her, a bookstore in Shoreditch, closed sign on the door, but I saw her inside filing shelves. I knocked. She turned. For a moment, she looked like she'd seen a ghost. Then she opened the door and pulled me into the dim light. "What are you doing here?" she whispered. "You told me you needed someone to look after you. I'm here." Tears welled in her eyes. "I told them not to involve you. They already did." She took my hand, led me upstairs to a small loft. Sparse, safe. And then, she finally told me everything. Her father had built a kingdom on image. Eliza, the youngest, was his favorite. Harper, too headstrong, too questioning, too much. Eliza had wandered into the pool while the adults were inside. No one noticed. Harper found her first, pulled her out, tried to revive her, but it was too late. Her screams brought people running. Her father saw the body, saw the witnesses, and knew his empire could fall. So he turned it around. She was jealous, he told the police. She had problems. This wasn't an accident. No proof, no conviction, just a lifetime of shame. He paid off officials, bribed psychologists, got her committed for her own safety. When she got out, she ran, changed her name, started again, until me. That night we lay on her floor. No music, just our breath. "I thought I'd never tell anyone," she said. "Now that I know, I'm not going anywhere." I said. "You don't have to save me," she whispered. "I'm not here to save you," I replied. "I'm here to stand next to you while you save yourself." And that was the first time I saw her fall asleep without fear. But peace doesn't last forever. 2 nights later, her loft was broken into. Nothing stolen, just ransacked. A warning. We couldn't stay, so we disappeared. Left London. Started again. Again. Some people spend their whole lives running from who they are. She just wanted someone to walk with her while she faced it. We left London before sunrise. No goodbyes. No plans. Just a train to nowhere and a silence so full it hummed between us. Harper barely spoke for hours. She stared out the window like she was trying to memorize the shape of the sky before it disappeared. "I don't even know who I am anymore," she whispered once. "You're not what they said," I told her. "You're who you chose to become the moment you ran." She looked at me, tired and raw. "And what am I now?" I reached for her hand. Still running, but not alone anymore. We ended up in a quiet fishing town in the north of Scotland, Oban. Cold air, kind strangers, no questions. We rented a cottage by the shore. She took up painting, said colors helped her breathe. I started freelancing remotely. Life slowed down, but trauma doesn't disappear. It waits, patiently. Some nights she'd wake up gasping, calling Eliza's name. Other nights, she'd stare into the dark and whisper things like, "If she were alive, would she forgive me for not saving her?" I'd hold her and say, "You tried. That's more than most." And we'd sit there, her heart beating through the silence. 6 months passed. One day, Harper got a letter. No name, just a courthouse stamp. Her father had passed away. Stroke. Sudden. But the letter wasn't about grief. It was a notice his estate was frozen. And her name, her real name, was listed in the will. He'd left her something. A house. The one Eliza died in. At first, she ripped the letter. Said she never wanted to see that place again. But 1 week later, she looked at me and said, "If I don't face it now, I never will." We flew back. The house stood like a ghost. Beautiful. Silent. Too clean to be innocent. Inside, the walls still whispered. Harper walked slowly through each room, tracing memories with her fingers. In Eliza's bedroom, she found a shoebox tucked behind a drawer. Inside, drawings, a diary, and a USB. Back at our hotel, we opened it. It held voice recordings. Dozens. Most were Eliza singing, laughing, telling stories. But one recording was different. Conversation. Faint but clear. Her father's voice. "If this ever gets out, you'll destroy us both." I told them Harper was unstable, and they believed it. Don't ever contradict the story. Another voice. Older woman. Maybe a therapist? But she didn't do it. That doesn't matter anymore. Harper's hands shook. Proof. Not legal maybe, but real. And it was hers. She didn't go to the police. Not yet. Instead, she uploaded the files anonymously to a whistleblower blog connected to high-profile abuse cases. It went viral in a week. Suddenly, Harper Lane had a name again. But this time, it wasn't painted in shame. It was survival. We moved again, this time not out of fear, but choice. I asked her once, "Do you regret telling me everything?" She smiled, tears in her eyes. "No, you're the only thing I never regretted." That was 2 years ago. Today, Harper works with trauma survivors. She tells her story on stages, sometimes with shaking hands, but always with fire in her voice. We live in Vancouver now. Quiet, kind, full of second chances. Some days are still hard. But love became the anchor that kept her from drifting too far. And me? I learned something I'll never forget. Sometimes the strongest people aren't the ones who survived a storm. They're the ones who chose to walk back into it to save someone else. Because love isn't just about falling for someone's beauty or smile or laugh. It's about staying when the world has already left. If this reached you, if you've ever carried a truth too heavy, or loved someone with a past too dark to explain, then maybe now you know you're not alone. And if someone ever asks you what you need, it's okay to say, "I just want someone to look after me." The end.